Hello guys, where we left off last time, the game's mastermind and creator was utterly annoyed. This time many lower-ranked girls had reached the mid and high-ranking ranks, and shockingly none had reached rank F. Hearing this, Harin was furious as her plan had completely failed. The only reason behind this was Suzy and her gang, who were desperately trying to change the game's rotten rules to prevent Harin from winning with their tricks. The story takes a turn when Han and Suzy tell Harin directly that they don't want to remain in rank F for the rest of their lives, and that Harin is not only rich and beautiful but also a pure school bully who wants to manipulate everyone. Meanwhile, Daein and Doa are having a fight because Daein's grades have dropped because of Harin, and she's afraid her father will beat her. Amidst all this, Yoonjung manages to control her feelings and tells Rim that while she loves him, she won't ruin his future and image. The next day, Suji takes a drastic step. She apologizes to Saji for manipulating her and warmly greets Pio. She's doing all this because she's now following Han's strategy: build allies, increase support. The other girls in the class are shocked, and when Suji proposes that the pyramid game should be abolished, a dead silence descends upon the entire class. All eyes are fixed on Harin, but the plot twist comes when Doa, Daeun, and Wooji, who previously controlled the class, begin to lose their power and are at a loss to understand how Yoonbyul suddenly became an A-grade student. This was actually Harin's hidden trump card. She had kept Yoonbyul hidden all along so she could falsify her final exam marks. Now, Suji has devised a full plan to slowly destroy Harin's image. First, she demands that Harin clean up after herself like the rest of the class and then tortures her in front of everyone, using words only to shatter her ego. After school, Hyun invites Suji to her house. There, they repair the kitchen sink, share a meal, and for the first time openly discuss their families and life goals. This is the moment when their friendship deepens. Suji's next move is to spread positive rumors about Hyun and have top-graded girls picture him with her, in order to make Hyun a grade A, which is completely contrary to Harin's plan. But the third step of the plan involves completely changing the rules of the game. Before this can happen, Suji receives a major setback. Her father informs her that he has been transferred and they will have to move to another city. Hearing this, Suji becomes upset but doesn't tell her friends anything because she wants the plan to be completed. Meanwhile, she announces to the class that from now on all privileges for those in grade A will be revoked, and Harin's gang will have to apologize to Han for hitting her. But then Harin makes another move. She challenges Han to agree to the removal of privileges only if no one goes to grade F in the next voting. The game now becomes extremely intense. Either the system will change or Harin will win once again. That same night, Han is talking to her mother on a video call when her mother reveals a shocking news. A woman named Seo-won has come to visit them. Hearing this, Han is stunned as if someone has taken away all her power. The next day she doesn't come to school, causing anxiety among her friends. Meanwhile, Suji tells her father that she will apply for a transfer within a few days. That very night, she meets a man named Colonel Hung, who is relocating to the same city. When Suzy investigates further, she's shocked. This entire transfer drama was a master plan by Harin to remove Suzy from school and continue her game with ease. As if that weren't enough, Harin suddenly appears in front of Hyun's house, threatening him with a secret motive for pursuing her and then attempts to torture him with fire. But thankfully, Suzy arrives just in time. She stands firmly before Harin, clearly stating, "No matter how much money you spend, I'm not leaving school and I won't allow people like you to torture me." Harin retorts that the pyramid game can't end and that Suzy is ruining everything. Therefore, Suzy should run away, but Suzy, unafraid, gives him a blunt reply. "This game will end and I will not rest until I break this toxic system of yours." In the morning, Han tells Suji that she has something very important to tell him once this game is over. It's then revealed that Suji called her father and clearly told him she's not going anywhere. The two then go to a shop where Cho has made some secret video recordings. Using these videos, it's time to expose the school's true nature. At school, Suji discreetly switches Doa's phone to gather evidence, but it seems that's not enough. The real trouble begins in physical education class. Under the guise of a bizarre exam, the students are told to beat those in lower ranks and earn points. Yes, you heard that right, hit and earn points. But Suji, like always, foils Harin's wicked plan. She and Yer devise a counter-strategy that gives every student an equal chance. As soon as the game begins, the girls pounce on each other. The entire field turns into a teenage massacre. Harin is having fun while everyone else is crying. Han saves herself with her athletic skills. But Suji makes the real move. When she gets the ball, her entire group stops the game as planned and lets time pass without anyone getting hurt. As the game's time is about to end, Suji has collected points for her team without violence. Han also adopts the same tactic and Do is forced to note down the points. Gradually, the other girls in the class also adopt the same path, earning points without harming each other, and this is what drives Harin crazy. Later, Suji and her team have fun together during lunch. They grow closer and Suji informs them that all the recordings will be uploaded the next morning. Meanwhile, Harin plots her revenge. To punish Daeyeon, she calls her father to have him severely beat. In the evening, Yoonjung is expressing her love for Rim when the dangerous villain Harin enters the scene, determined to ruin everything once again. This time, the psychopath Harin doesn't hold back. She openly threatens Yoonjung and Yi-rim that if they don't stop interfering in her plans, she will reveal Yoonjung's biggest secret, his liking for girls. This will not only cost her the swimming competition but also ruin Yi-rim's artistic debut. Forced to do so, Yoonjung kneels down, expressing her helplessness. Meanwhile, Doa reveals to her classmate that there's another mini-pyramid group within the pyramid game, with Harin at the top. If 9 of the 21 girls in this group were to abandon Harin, not only would the grade system collapse but the entire game would collapse. Harin's power lies in his influence and fear. Therefore, despite disagreeing with his views, Doa remains subservient like a helpless spectator. Meanwhile, Harin's parents, terrified by his actions, are planning to send him abroad. However, Harin has also gathered evidence against them, accusing them of money laundering through their company. That's when she warns Su-ji. She has discovered that the recordings were being used against her. This means that the phone exchange with Doa was a ploy by Harin. Now she threatens Su-ji. If she publishes the recordings, she will implicate her father, Colonel Sung, in corruption charges and for using his daughter for political connections. Su-ji's courage fails in the face of this dangerous blackmail. She goes to Cho and has all the videos and evidence deleted. To protect her father's professional image, during a trip when all the children visit the aquarium, Suzy, heartbroken, silently wonders, was there any other way out? Yeonjung also begins to distance herself from Yeonjung to avoid getting into trouble. Meanwhile, Suzy lies to her friends about what she did with the recordings, refusing to tell them the truth. She can't understand why Harin hates her so much, and in this confusion she confronts her father. Meanwhile, Yerim receives good news. She has received her artistic debut, but her joy is short-lived. She discovers that Harin deliberately had Yoonjung cancel her swimming competition so that Harin could teach her swimming that day. It was all just a power move. Harin doesn't stop there. She also threatens Yi Hyun, saying she will ruin her brother's career if she doesn't distance herself from Suzy. A short while later, someone suddenly pushes Harin into the pool. She is saved from drowning, but she doesn't say anything about it. Doa scolds Wazi, asking if she pushed Harin. Wazi explains, everyone watches silently. Only Han and Yoonjung helped. Then everyone is assigned their new rooms and M orders them into groups. The girls choose roommates based on their own advantages and connections, and Yerim is assigned to the same room as her old friend Hyun. Both are a little uncomfortable, but they decide to forget the past and spend time together. At night, all the girls release balloons into the sky while Harin plans her next big game. This time Yerim, Yihin and Inbeol will be targeted. Meanwhile, Suji is thrown a sweet surprise birthday party by her friends. Meanwhile, Yuri recalls the trauma she suffered at the hands of Daein and her gang. That's why Cho tries his best to help Yuri escape that dark room and perhaps find herself again. Everything changes in an instant. When Yvonne is so impressed by Suji's kindness that she confesses to herself that she created the pyramid app and now deeply regrets it. She tells Suji that if she ever needs help, she will come to her without hesitation. That night, the girls have dinner with the grade D students and watch a horror movie, but Suji is completely devastated. She's still reeling from the recordings, but a major twist is that Cho didn't delete the files but instead kept them. Meanwhile, Waji apologizes to Harin for pushing her into the pool. But that very night, Harin reveals her true identity. She calls Han and tells him she's had his mother summoned from Busan, meaning she won't let him go anywhere. Meanwhile, Harin's father tries to convince his mother to send Harin to boarding school abroad. But her grandmother flatly refuses, believing Harin to be her heir, a girl with ambition and ruthless determination. Harin then resorts to vicious blackmail, claiming that Suji betrayed everyone just to save her father. And if Han continues to support her, she'll reveal his secrets. The next morning, everyone in class is stunned when it's revealed that a paintball competition is being held, where students are divided into 4 teams based on their rank, and the loser will face a brutal punishment. Harin and her gang launch an attack as planned. Everything is pre-planned. She sacrifices herself to save Yi, and Suzy receives a severe beating from Wu, who has now gone completely insane as everything has changed since her arrival. Suzy somehow manages to defend herself, defeating him and marking him with 3 shots. Harin eliminates Hyun, and when Hyun begins to tremble with fear, Harin forces her to confess. If she doesn't betray her friends, her mother will discover her secret. After the game ends, everyone must vote on who will receive a grade F, but Harin's tactics are so powerful that everyone is forced to confess their sins just to save themselves. Po is the first to cheat. She fears becoming a target again, but then another shocking revelation comes. Suzy and her group had met secretly the night before to expose Harin's blackmails and manipulations and unite to confront her. Then one by one, Han, Suzy, Yihan and Yerin appear and nominate themselves. By revealing their secrets, they prove they are not afraid of Harin and will never betray each other. This scene is heartbreaking. The 4 demonstrate their friendship, courage, and unity so convincingly that the entire atmosphere comes to a standstill. Harin has a flashback to when she was a child and was relegated to the bottom of a pyramid game by her classmates. She was ridiculed. That humiliation turned her into this. But the girls in her gang are enraged by this, and Dion tries to help Suzy's team. Then Yoon-young appears, saving them, and is herself beaten so badly that she has to be taken to the hospital. The school erupts in chaos. M immediately calls Haren's aunt, who speaks to her parents, and all the girls are terrified by the incident. It's eventually revealed that Haren was taught this pyramid game as a child, and when she was at the bottom, she was so despised that she never wants to let it end. Despite Yoonjung's condition, she shows no remorse. Meanwhile, Yoonbal remains a shadow of Haren, almost like her maid, as her top priority now is getting a good GPA and getting into university so she can get rid of her once and for all. Meanwhile, Su-ji includes Yeon and Yerim in her group, as they were the two enemies who didn't raise a hand against her during the voting. Both are now remorseful and want to get back on track. Meanwhile, she gathers them all and tells them that Yoonyoung will be sent to Seoul for surgery, and that it was all just an accident. But this excuse explains everything. The Baekhyun group is actually covering up the incident. Instead of forming a strict committee on school violence, Yoonjung's coach tells Yerim that this injury could end her swimming career. Hearing this, Yerim is devastated and in a fit of rage drags Dion by her hair. Su-ji immediately remembers Dion's cruelty and takes the stand, saying, "Give me a chance this time, I'll break her to pieces myself." Harin sends a message that clearly states that the grade A students will now collectively decide the punishment for whoever caused Yoonjung's condition. A few days later, Yerim and the other girls visit Yoonjung in the hospital, but she still feels guilty and keeps her distance. Meanwhile, Su-ji continues on her mission. Now she's removing her enemies from the list and sending secret invites to those who were merely spectators. A new group forms, connecting through an online game. While the Baekhyun company continues to cover up the entire Yoonjung affair, another bombshell occurs. Yoonbyul tells the group that they've decided not to allow Dion to participate in any rankings. But then Im arrives, takes Dion to the office, and gives her a school transfer notice. As soon as her father arrives, he goes into a rage and brutally beats his own daughter for causing trouble in the business. Meanwhile, Chasuji shows her a new game system that allows her to bypass censorship and reveal the truth about the school to everyone without fear of their parents. Meanwhile, Harin's mother shows her that negative news about the school has gone viral, and her grandmother angrily reprimands Harin, saying that her carelessness is making things worse. The next day during lunch, Sasuji reveals that 3 girls have secretly promised to help, Suna, Yeon and Rim, but they need more people to completely finish the game. That same night, Harin quietly enters Hyun's room and without saying a word cuts off a lock of her hair, a direct threat. Later, her mother calls, informing her that Harin's enemy has revealed everything about the secret that has been devastated her. Hearing this, Harin bursts into tears. Although in pain, she decides to remain silent so as not to upset her friends. Harin returns to school and Professor Im conducts final exams. After the exams, Su-ji is dismayed by her best friend's changed behavior, and when she shares this with Cho, he reveals that he secretly hacked her phone to obtain vital information. He then reveals shocking news. A report has been published against Su-ji's father that could ruin his military career. He has been accused of corruption. Turns out, during Harin's threatening visit, Han makes a drastic decision. She agrees to return to grade F, but only on the condition that Harin stop bullying the other girls. Consequently, Su-ji's group continues working on their next plan. First, Su-ji goes to Sinj without Han to try to get him to join the team, and then meets with Jaehin to try to get him to join them. Su-ji then begins to distance herself from Yudu, feeling uneasy about him. Then she goes to Han and says, "You're my friend and I'm with you. No matter what, the team is growing bigger every day." Su-ji tells everyone that now is not the time to just be bystanders, because this isn't just a game, it's blatant school violence. So their new plan is to have 13 girls deliberately absent from the next voting session so the game can be cancelled. Meanwhile, Yerim is quietly supporting Yoonjung in her recovery, but Worai is becoming increasingly concerned about her life. Meanwhile, Jo gives Su-ji a small recording device so she can record the true reality of voting, and then Thursday, the day of the pyramid game, arrives. Han keeps her distance from her friends, and Yerim finally makes her dream debut in front of the entire school crowd. During the school fair, Cho for some strange reason enters and Yerim leaves in tears. Just then the 1:00 a.m. alarm rings, and all the students gather in the voting room. Even Dion, who everyone had assumed was gone, returns. Suddenly everyone rushes outside to see Yerim being rushed to the hospital, completely unconscious as if she were lifeless. This makes Suji's blood boil. She immediately rushes back into the room. In her pain and anger, she pushes Harin away. Just moments before, Yerim had received a sweet message from Yoonjung congratulating her on her debut, and that joy was the emotional storm that forced her to cry. Su-ji finds Yerim unconscious again, and at that moment Harin, with her new haircut, announces that a girl must now be permanently left in grade F until she graduates. Su-ji retorts sharply, "Because of you I became a bad social outcast. Han harmed herself. Yoonjung lost her sports career and now so does Rim, but Harin doesn't care. She asserts that she is the creator of this game and everyone must obey her." Then she openly asks who will volunteer for grade F. Su-ji doesn't stay silent on this either. She says that Harin can't be trusted because he never punished the witch. Then she makes an appeal to everyone. "Let's make a decision together in the name of friendship and humanity." And then it's revealed that this was Suji's real master plan, to show everyone that even Rim, who holds a high position like grade A, can fall prey to this game. This is where the other students' perspectives begin to change. There's a moment of silence. Then Han comes forward and makes a bold statement, "I just deleted this app." And then one by one the others do the same. 12 votes are cast. Now only one vote remains. Just then Dayan stands up to challenge Harin, but Su-ji stops her, saying that her vote is not needed because she has already committed violence at school and has been blocked from the game because of her behavior. When Dayan's anger reaches its peak, she takes out her anger on the innocent Han, completely unaware that Cho's hidden camera was live the entire time and all the teachers in the school were watching. But to everyone's surprise, Doa becomes the final vote, turning her back on Harin and ending the game forever. Then she also reveals that she was with Su-ji from the beginning. It was she who helped Cho plant the camera, even though her father was pressuring her to stay close to powerful people. It was she who helped break this toxic game, and Cho, risking her life, broke into the staff room and released all the videos. When these clips spread like wildfire on social media, the principal lost her temper. She broke the camera and shook the entire room with screams. But it was too late. The whole world had seen the truth. Later, Suji thanks Hyun for not giving in to Harin's pressure and tells her friends that Rim is now completely fine and safe with Yoonjung. What actually happened was that Rim was talking to her best friend on the phone, motivating her to go swimming again when her stalker arrived in a strange disguise. But thankfully, Wari arrived in time to save her. Meanwhile, Rim accidentally got pushed hard and fell unconscious. Now that everything is settled, Yoonjung herself comes to thank everyone. Professor Yaonan files a police report, and Cho becomes emotional when he learns that his sister left the room to protect Yi Rim, who was the one who first tried to inform the teachers about the cursed game. As the video goes viral, all the corporate parents panic. Colonel Sung freezes. Han's mother breaks down in tears and Harin herself begs her mother to transfer her and Han to another school. Her strict grandmother reminds her that she warned them earlier and now she will have to face the consequences. Suji confronts her father bluntly, asking why he turned a blind eye when he knew something was wrong at the school. He then meets her mother, tearfully telling her that she has found some true friends at this school. Harin returns the next morning, but this time she's unafraid. She gives Harin her lighter back and leaves without a word. The class reconvenes. Teachers are scolding Harin's other classmates and Harin's grandmother, the head of the Baekhyun group, decides to send her granddaughter abroad. Hearing this, Harin stands up, embraces her grandmother and whispers something into her ear, perhaps her last trump card. Meanwhile, Harin's mother meets Doa's father and tells him that to save the school's reputation, they will use Harin and Doa as scapegoats, because they are most concerned about the school's reputation, not their own daughters. Meanwhile, some girls are shifted to Class 1 and some to Class 2, meaning the group is now split up, and a new world of girls has opened up to them. Harin's mother assures the other parents that something like this will never happen again. This is the first time these traumatized girls have spent the day with the entire school, just like normal girls. Now that everything is over, Hyun is finally about to tell Suji her secret. She receives a call, leaving her stunned. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Yerim now fearlessly presents herself with Yoonjung, revealing that neither Suji nor Hyun have been responding to anyone's messages. Turns out, Suji and Hyun leave together for Harin's old house where Harin is waiting for them. Once there, Hyun reveals a shocking truth to her best friend. She did something horrific to a rich girl as a child, and that girl was none other than Harin herself. When they arrive at the house, Harin reveals that a girl named Suin used to live there who was constantly bullied at school, and that Suin is actually Harin herself. Before the shocking revelation that Han was responsible for the atrocity, Han begins to break down in guilt. But then an accident occurs and the entire house catches fire. Just before the fire, Harin reveals that the house belonged to her. She had no parents and Hai confided in her, revealing the secret to her friends just to appear cool. But it doesn't end there. Harin explains that a traumatic incident last year left her so devastated that she became addicted to opioids. As the fire spreads throughout the house, Harin faints and the other two girls flee for their lives. Meanwhile, a media uproar erupts. The entire narrative is reversed, and Hai is now portrayed as the mastermind of the bullying, while Harin is portrayed as the innocent victim. Another flashback reveals that Harin felt betrayed when she learned that Hai had told everyone she had no parents. That's when she vowed revenge. Meanwhile, she hears that the heir to the Baekhyun group is looking to adopt a child, so Harin deliberately impresses him at the school festival and wins his heart. Once she's adopted, her entire life changes. She now grows up in strict discipline, emotional neglect, and loneliness without love, which has filled her with an icy anger. In the present, Yi-han and Han try to reveal the real truth to the media. Meanwhile, Yeren admits to everyone that she was part of the pyramid game and is now giving up her career. Then, Rim meets the only witness who witnessed Suji being tortured by Dayan and her gang. Once the video surfaced, a professor passed it to Suji, and Suji and her friends made it viral to expose the media's false reporting. A massive campaign quickly erupted on social media, with all the participants in the pyramid game coming out in support of Suji and admitting they had been silently watching. Meanwhile, Wari receives Rim's first response, a simple thank you which leaves her deeply emotional. But as she emerges, Harin stands in front of her and Wari freezes in fear. Then in a very psychopathic manner, Harin confesses that she tortured Wari only because she accidentally crushed her foot. Hearing this, Wari is so shocked that she comes forward, tells her story on camera and reveals to everyone who the real villain is. Harin, meanwhile, Han calls Su-ji and reveals that she's finally remembered the night a year ago. A flashback shows that when she met Harin again at school, she simply said hello with a sweet smile instead of apologizing. But when Su-ji learns of this, she bluntly tells Harin that she's just making excuses, while she's actually shirking responsibility for the school violence she started. Moments before the fire, Harin confesses to setting the fire, only to frame Hyun and Su-ji. But Han refuses to leave until Harin is rescued. Later that night, the colonel apologizes to his daughter, Su-ji, admitting that he turned a blind eye when he suspected something was wrong, despite Su-ji always being a strong and independent girl. Just then, Cho receives a message from her, revealing that the teacher named M wasn't actually eligible to work at the school. This news shakes the entire school system, severely tarnishing the Baekhyun group's reputation. Consequently, Yunan meets with her former student Su-ji, who promises to gather all the evidence and share it with the press. As a result, the police raid the school staff room, seize all the evidence and arrest the guilty teachers and director. Meanwhile, Dian tries to hurt herself to escape her father's beatings, but she fails to muster the courage and continues to suffer. Woo Jai's parents put her through mental health tests. Seale is expelled from a martial arts competition. Jaeyoung begins to face harassment on social media for being a bully. Yoonbyul is expelled from school and Doa follows suit. Later, Do herself visits Su-ji. She apologizes for all her mistakes and says the punishment she received is justified because she truly deserved it. Meanwhile, Harin's adoptive parents publicly reveal her backstory to clean up her image and completely disown her family. They dissolve the parental contract. Afterward, Suzy and Hyun sit down to discuss Harin's true punishment. No court, no police, just the world's indifference, neglect, and forgetfulness, and that will be her ultimate defeat. Harin regains consciousness in the hospital while Yambyul begins her rehabilitation. One day, Suzy witnesses school bullying on her street, and this time she refuses to remain silent. Taking Hyun along, she steps forward and sets out to ensure justice. 2 months later, the entire gang reunites after school holidays to have fun at their favorite combination store. She reveals that the school's name is about to change, and her friends encourage her to return to the art industry. Suji reveals that Cho has now joined the military and gifted everyone tickets to a music festival. Suji and her father's relationship also improves, and they decide to stay at the school until they graduate. When everyone returns to school, they find that Professor Yaonan has returned. And the school's name is now Mario. The new logo says new heart, new meaning, new name, new beginning. All the girls are preparing for their final year. But then news spreads that the twin girls from Mario's group are transferring today. While talking on the phone, they plan to restart the pyramid game. But this time, Suji and her team are already prepared to stop them, and this is where this powerful story of the pyramid game ends. Now tell us how you liked this story in the comments, and if you liked it, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon to never miss another video. I'm adding more great videos you'll definitely enjoy. Thank you so much for your time.